Do you know, you'd think the more I do these, the easier it gets. And my lights are in my face. Welcome to our Let's Bake Together with Jen. So this evening we are doing, hi guys, really nice to see everybody. So this evening we're making our Christmas cake in a saucepan, and lots of people say, oh, that's not a real Christmas cake. It really is a real Christmas cake. Let me show you what it looks like. So it's a slightly more moist cake than a standard cake that you would soak for a long time, but that's what it looks like. So you can see that. It looks good. We've tasted it. It smells wonderful. Really nice. So we're going to make this cake in full. It'll take you 2 to 2.5 hours in the oven, and then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to soak our fruit ahead, because on December the 5th, hi Monica, on December the 5th from Gateshead in England, we are going to make our soak ahead cake. So let's get started. I was away at a Women's Network Day today, so normally I'm very chill at home on the day I do the bake. Today I was out, but that's okay. We start with our weighing scales. Now, you can put in the ingredients in any, hi Sinead, thank you so much, and you're a home ec teacher, you should know. I normally put in the ingredients in any old order, but I'm just going to put them in today in the order of the ones that have to be weighed, because this, you don't have to weigh it. These little gem 100 grams of almonds, you don't have to weigh them. So we don't need to put those in straight away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my butter on the bottom, just because weighing scales on, back to zero, and we have 175 grams of butter. I don't remember my own recipes, so I need to keep an eye on them. So let's look and see. I have no daughter with me for company tonight. I have Paddy in the background, and I warned him not to have his sound on so that I wouldn't be double hearing myself, the poor man. And I also told him that if somebody asks a question, just put your hand up. It's like he's in school, the poor fella. Okay, 175. I didn't actually weigh this out beforehand. A bit too much there, so let's take a bit back. What I would say to you is, I tell you amounts and then sometimes a little extra pops in, and that's okay. So that's the butter. Now let's get into the order. The soft dark brown sugar has to be weighed. I'm going to put that in. So that's 175 grams of this one. You can put a little less in if you want to, if you're considering health. So 175 and 175 is going to come to 350 on my scales. Is anybody making this with me? All right. Next thing I'm going to put in that needs to be weighed is the alcohol. Now, I was on holidays in Spain and I bought this bottle because it was cheap. I think it was, what was that, Paddy, 14 euros or something?
14 or 15, yeah.
14 euros. But I was dying to try a spiced rum in my cakes, so that's what I'm using this year. On your weighing scales, if you zero your scales and you weigh your alcohol or you weigh any liquid on your weighing scales, 130 mils is the same weight as 130 grams. So I'm just going to put in 130 grams of my alcohol. If you want to, you can use orange juice instead. Ooh. So there's 130, and you always put in a nip for luck in an Irish cake. Little nip. There's 10 mils. Now, everything else that's going to go in to heat up in the saucepan is already weighed out. So I've got my bag of the gem. This one is called the Christmas Cake Fruit Mix. Honestly, it is brilliant. It's so handy. It reduces your waste packaging and everything. And it is a fabulous mix. If you look at that mix, you can see it's really, really delicious. So that just goes straight in. There are cherries in it. Usually what I do is the cherries are whole, so I tend to stick my hand in and just have them a little bit when I see them. And there's some more there. Really good mix of fruit in that. Then I'll just wipe my hand. Then the almonds, my original recipe, I had 50 and 50 and I went, doesn't really matter so much, but it's nice to have the whole crack because then I'm not weighing and measuring and worrying about did I use too much, did I use too little. So those two. Now these ones, and I have to tell you, at the moment in Eurospar you can get that pack for $5.49. It's really, really incredibly good value. And they sell these as well. So if you go into any of the Spars or Lunduses at the moment, you'll see that they're on offer. I know that the other Gem products are also sold in Dunn's and in Super Value. So I'm not giving business to any company, one over the other. Only Gem. So this here, I'm just literally mixing that very half-heartedly with my wooden spoon, and then I'm putting in the zest of an orange and the lemon. Now remember, you need to clean the skins of those. A little bit of Gem bread soda in a little bit of water, leave it in it for 10 minutes and then take it out, rinse it, and it's clean. So you zest the lemon in, and afterwards what I would do is I juice it and I put the juice in the freezer. I have a lot of lemon juice in the freezer. I'm going to have to make some lemon curd soon because I find it great for that. Any questions? I don't see the questions aren't scrolling online.
One here, can you make it nut free?
You can absolutely make it nut free. There's no problem with leaving the nuts out completely.
No
and
fruit. Substitute fruit for nuts?
Substitute fruit for nuts or not, you can just leave them out. They don't really affect the texture too much. So if you don't like them, leave them out. I had hazelnuts last week. I didn't have any almonds in the house and I used hazelnuts, chopped hazelnuts that I found. Or people like pecans in their Christmas cake sometimes, or Brazil nuts, whatever you fancy. Or not at all if that's your preference. Also, if you have somebody like my brother who doesn't eat cherries or nuts, you can pick out the cherries from this mix.
The weighing scales.
What about the weighing scales?
What weighing scales do you use?
The weighing scales, I'll tell you about that in a comment later on. It's not from Jen, but it's a great little weighing scales, and it's just handy to have. This saucepan is a little too big for it, but it still works fine. And it zeroes back down to zero. Sometimes I impress my mammy by adding things in my head and adding them on the scales at the same time. But it's very handy to have a little weighing scales. And I used to do things in ounces and pounds, but I'm afraid it's metric all the way from now.
Were the 2 small bags sugar, somebody's asked?
The 2 small bags weren't sugar, they were almonds.
And are Gem products gluten-free? You know?
Gem products are mostly gluten-free. You'd need to check the packaging on them. Some of them are gluten-free, yes. Obviously their flours aren't gluten-free, but I think most of their fruits are. Off the top of my head, I wouldn't say yes for sure, because that'll be like the teacher who says, no, I'm right, and then the child comes back the next day and says, miss, I checked that and you were wrong. Never say yes if you don't know for sure. So you can check that on the website. Now, the last time we were on, Gem was looking to get to 13,000 followers. And it got to 14.7k followers. If we could get 300 more tonight, I'd be a very happy camper. I don't get a bonus for it, but I really love Agnes and everybody in the Gem team. They are such fabulous people. It's such a wonderful Irish company. It would be really nice if we could get them to 15,000. So we just need 300 people. Okay. This one here, that's the mix. And you can see, I didn't do anything with it. That goes onto the hob and I put it on. My cooker goes from 0 to 9 and then there's a boost on it. It's an induction one. So I'm going to put that on at about 4.5. And I'm just going to leave it on, but you don't want it to boil because this, before we finish, has to cool down enough for us to add the flour and the eggs to it. Okay, here we go. So that's on. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to get our cake tin ready. All right. I am making a saucepan cake. Person who just asked that question. So it's Christmas cake in a saucepan. So the first thing you want is you want a piece of parchment that is long enough to fit the diameter of your cake tin. It's an 8-inch or 20 centimetre cake tin. It's going to go like this. So that's it there. But lots of people use loads of layers. I don't bother. So I've just cut this to sort of a little bit taller than my cake tin. And I'm going to use the scissors to cut that. Here's my scissors. All right. So I'm just cutting my length of parchment paper. Now you can be very organised and you can have a piece of round, you know, you can have like a silicone round base if you wanted to, or not. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do with that is you are going to do, watch this, so you literally just put a row of diagonal cuts in it like that. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter because I'm very disorganised. And you just do this here, watch. That's it. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to get the circle for the base of your tin. So you have a rectangle or a square piece of paper. You kind of gauge where the middle of that is. And then you just put a little fold here to say that's roughly the size of my circle. See that? So it's kind of made the shape of the tin on that. So I folded my paper in half and then in half again. I hope my maths teacher friends are not too shocked at my sort of mathematical method. Now, this is going to be bigger than the tin base. So it's a good bit bigger. And so that one is about 3 centimetres bigger the whole way around. So watch. You cut your pieces like that. Again, all the way around. It's a really scientific description of what I'm doing, isn't it? You cut your pieces the whole way around, but it's like a little diagonal line the whole way around your circle. Because what you want to do is when that circle goes in, you want those excess bits to fold up the side of your cake tin. So they're not in the way of the base. And you put that in on the bottom. Do I do this as an exact science? Not at all. There it is. Okay. I'm just going to stop for a second. Anybody who's cooking with me, do a little stir of your fruit. So the butter isn't melted yet, but it's beginning to start. All right. There we go. And then we're going to put this piece in as well. Now I'll be honest, I use a silicone base. And then actually I might put this one in second and I'll put this one in first. And then this will be kept in place by the circle. There we go. And the circle will hopefully keep that one in place as well. Messy. So I could have had this done earlier, but if I had it done earlier then it looks really easy and people go, oh yeah, she did that. So I'm showing you the reality. Cooking can be messy and a bloody nuisance. There we go, that's a little bit better because I've got that folded down a wee bit there. And then we put this one in and we fold that down on top. Perfect, not at all. But there it is, okay? So that's ready. Now, while the other cake is cooking, we are going to do our soak ahead. So I'm not sure how many of you. Hi from Jarrow in England. Leprechaun Luck is here, hello. Hi Claire from Toronto. It's so nice to see people from across the world here and connected by cakes and cooking and food. It's just lovely. This holds the crisps. Hi from Staffordshire. Hi Veronique. This holds the crisps in our house, and every year in October the crisps just get dumped into the cupboard because this becomes my soak ahead cake tub. Okay. A book would be the dream. Siobhan is on, is she?
Yeah,
Minnesota. Oh, my sister from Minnesota is on. Hi Siobhan. And all the Minnesotans, I know there are a lot of people in Minnesota who watch. Hi from Tralee. Truslove Esther.
Sinead.
Oh, it's Esther. Hi Sinead, how are you? Another sister. Sisters are great. And I mean, I was at a women's networking thing today and I just think women are amazing in general. Alright, so what have I to weigh in this? I don't have anything to weigh except for my sugar, because I'm going to put my sugar in here so that it can ferment away nicely. And this cake, the soak ahead, is going to make 2 8-inch cakes for you. Maybe an 8-inch and a 6-inch if you want them thicker and deeper. So this one here calls for 350 grams of sugar. Now I know I'm slightly short in this, and that's okay. Let's see what have I got. I've got 330. So I'm 20 grams short. And I'm leaving it at that. The next thing that goes in here is 250 mils of alcohol. Now, I'm using the spice drum this year. Hi Catherine from Cavan. Hi Mary. Oh, hi Mary. Mary is great. She comments on everything. Mary Dillon Grange. And I see all sorts of comments from her all the time. Hi Mary from Tipperary. I'm putting in 350 mils of alcohol. No, 250 mils of alcohol. So I'll put that in. Last year, what did I make the cakes with last year? Was it brandy, Paddy? Or was it whiskey?
Brandy, I think.
And the year before I made it with whiskey because somebody had given us a bottle of Paddy, and we don't drink whiskey. We drink brandy sometimes. But I just happen to have this one today. Oh, Barbara, and I know people kill people for having plastic, but I haven't killed any of us yet. Okay, so 250 mils of alcohol. Now, if you prefer, you can weigh, you can measure it out carefully, but you know me. Okay, where are we? We're nearly there. It's gas, I can actually see it through the plastic container. Okay, so we're at 234. There's 248, so my nip for luck always goes in. That's it. People think baking is science. It is, but things like Christmas cakes, not a science. They are, let's check our fruit, still not fully melted. So if you want to turn the heat up a little bit, you can. I'm going to turn my heat up a little bit just so that it'll be ready for us. People think, you know, baking is a science and it has to be exact. On something like a Christmas cake, it doesn't. So this one, so the soak ahead, I'm using the Christmas pudding mix, and this one has a different mix in it. So this one has raisins, sultanas, currants, it has some diced apricots, it has some diced prunes, it has dried cranberries, it has cherries. And then this one here, the Christmas cake mix, has raisins, sultanas, cherries, and that's it. So let me see. Oh no, it has some diced apricots. I think, yeah, it has. And then it has some mixed peel as well. So this one here is a slightly different mix to this one. All right. If you want to, you can just add 2 of these, and the fruit weight will be slightly heavier in your cake. And honestly, I'd add an extra 50 grams of flour, and I'd add maybe 1 extra egg, and that would be it, because the cake will then still work and your cake will be a little bigger. But today I'm doing 1 Christmas cake tub, and I'm doing 1 pudding for the tub. So I am now making 3 Christmas cakes, and look, you think about your mother years ago when she was making cakes and all of the packaging she had. So for 3 cakes, this is all the packaging I have. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have an extra one of those in the telling on 5th of December, but that's all the waste I have. Oh, 1 little raisin bit in there. Now, just going to throw this out of the way. this point, all you do with this is you mix that fruit in and you coat it with the alcohol. It's funny, you know, people sort of go, oh, but it's cheating. You have to put in, no you don't. You don't have to get packets of raisins and packets, and you can, absolutely. And actually, Jem does the most incredible raisins. Paddy's aunt, Kathleen, who died recently, used to make puddings for the county. So she used to make about 16, was it 16 last year she made?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
About 16 puddings, and Paddy used to go around the country for sport to get these fat, juicy raisins for her. The gourmet range in Jem is actually exactly what she could have used. Now, do you see, I'm just taking my scissors and I'm cutting up some of these. Look at the size of those sultanas. So some of them are huge. So just as I see them in there, I'm just chopping them in half. And as I see the cherries, I'm just chopping them a little bit. Now, all of a sudden I can hear my fruit. Not there yet, the butter hasn't melted, but we're nearly there. Okay, so that is ready to go. I'm just going to take that scissors out, and then you put the lid on that. Someone said on Facebook today, because I have this recipe up from last year, and someone said, you shake it till it doesn't make noise anymore. Now, it will make noise, but it's a different kind of noise. So if you shake it at the moment, you can hear, actually that's really good already. No, listen to that. You can hear kind of dried fruit in there. Now, over the next 5 to 6 weeks, until the 5th of December, you are going to take that out of the cupboard every now and then, and you're just literally going to do that. If you're having a bad day, that's so satisfying. Good for your upper arm strength as well, which is terrible for me. And that's it. There, look at that for a lovely fruit mix. Can you see that? Really nice. And that is going to go into a dark cupboard, just because I like dark cupboards. And I'm going to leave it there until the 5th of December. I will not be tempted to do anything else with it. Okay.
You not use the ready soap, somebody wants to know. Is there such a thing?
There is such a thing as ready soaked, and I'll be very honest with you. I've used them before, but I much prefer to soak my own because I know the alcohol that's going into them. And the ready soaked, I can tell you now, the alcohol is never going to be as good an alcohol as the alcohol you put in yourself. But look, I also think you do what suits you, and if that works for you, you do that. Okay, now this here, how do I know that this is a little too hot at the moment? Because when I put my hand on it, that's quite hot. So again, lots of people trying to join us. Unfortunately, you can't be in the live because then everybody in the country will see you in your house, and you mightn't have planned that that's what you wanted me to do. All right. What I would say to you is, in your house, if this is a little bit warm, you can throw it into your kitchen sink with some cold water in the bottom of the sink and let it sit in the cold water, and that'll cool it down very quickly for you. Here, my counter is granite and it's quite cold, so it'll do the same job for me. I've just 2 more little things to do now. I'm cutting up some of those cherries and some of those enormous, beautiful sultanas. Now, if you're not making this with me, I need you to see what this looks like, because it just looks divine. You know, I use the same superlatives all the time. Look at that. The Christmas bags in Dunn's, you can get these bags of fruit in Dunn's, in SuperValue, in all the Spars, the Eurospars and the Lunduses. So they're available. Is somebody saying she couldn't get them?
Couldn't get them in Dunn's.
Yeah, because, but you need to ask Dunn's to supply them, because sometimes we'll go in and our favourite products aren't there, and you just need to ask the people there, when are they coming back? And if there's a demand for them, they will bring them back, I can tell you. So last year they didn't have them in my Dunn's, and I said it to them, and the following week they had a whole shelf full of them.
Could be out the back.
They could be out the back, exactly, as Paddy says. Now, what do you think, babe? What about the smell of this? It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's wafting over here now.
Yeah, I mean, it is just, that's spiced rum.
I'm getting drunk on the fumes.
The spiced rum is so good. So equally by now, you see, that's not so hot in my hand. And equally, as I stir that, that's cooling it down as well. Now, let us put that aside on the counter for a minute. And we are going to get our flour ready. So we have three ingredients to put together now. Let me get them. So they are, we have plain flour. So we have 230 grams of plain flour. This, somebody said before, oh, cheap flour does not mean it's good quality. This is brilliant quality flour. I bake everything with Gem, and yes, I'm a brand ambassador, but I'm a brand ambassador because I've been using their products for so long that they contacted me and said, you use our products all the time. I said, yeah, I do, because I love them. This is really good flour. Plain flour, 230 grams of it. And again, does it have to be exact? Nah. Near enough will do. Oh, that's 231 grams. The next thing I'm adding, and I want to show you this because people say to me, allspice, what is allspice? Is it just a different mixed spice? No, allspice is actually this one here. Christmas puddings, we'll be doing Christmas puddings soon, but not with Gem. I'll do them on my page another night. This here, allspice, I use it in place of mixed spice because I just really like the aroma from it. It's funny, allspice is an actual spice. It's kind of a peppery spice, but there's just something about it. I love it. So you can use mixed spice if you prefer, but if you've never tried allspice in your baking, give it a shot. Okay, so you're doing a half a tablespoon, and I say half a tablespoon advisedly. A little bit more is always good. I nearly dropped the whole thing in there. And the other one that I use, which you don't have to use, if you prefer to use mixed spice, you can do a full tablespoon of mixed. I use nutmeg. And I don't know why I use nutmeg. I'm making Christmas cake in a saucepan. Or cloves. Cloves I find very strong. If you use a lot of clove, Rosanna, I find cloves a little bit too overpowering. So I use nutmeg because one of the girls in our house does not like cinnamon at all. So over the years, I just stopped using cinnamon in lots of things because Blonde wouldn't eat them if I made it with cinnamon. Now, look, no fancy sieving or anything with that. I'm just mixing the flour and the spices together like that. That's it. And they are going to go into my saucepan. Now, that saucepan, oh, there's a tiny little fly. That saucepan of fruit and butter and sugar and all those lovely things is cool enough for my flour and then after my eggs. So flour in and the spices, and then watch what you do. You just do this. Now you'll mix it and you go, God, that's not a very wet cake. It isn't because it's got 4 eggs missing at the moment. But you just mix the flour through, because when you mix the flour through, it takes more of the heat from the fruit, so you're not at risk of scrambling your eggs. Because if you can't put your hand on this saucepan underneath, you should not be putting eggs into it yet, because it has to be cool enough that your hand is on it and it's not burning, and it's not, it's soft, and it's just warm, barely warm now. You see how quickly that happened. Now I will come on tonight, later on, just literally for about 3 or 4 minutes when this is cooked. So once I put this into the oven, you can time it for 2 hours later. And if you're making it yourself, time it. And I'll show you after 2 hours what mine looks like. The last day, it was ready after 2 hours. The oven is on already at 130 Celsius fan. Some people say, oh, you need to double and triple layer your cake. Because I cook mine at a low temperature, they don't burn. And years ago, cakes used to take forever to bake, but they don't seem to now. Okay, one more step, and we'll have our cake. I'm not being funny. I'm so scared now of eggs. Because people keep saying, I can't believe you don't mix them and you don't check them first. So I'm going to check my eggs, okay? So I need 4 medium eggs. I've given the weight of the eggs because sometimes you go, oh, medium eggs, what size? My eggs are small enough. So they're between 200 and 220 grams of actual egg weight, not the shell. Some people measure them with the shell and I'm going, but you don't cook the shell. So I'm just doing 4 medium eggs. And actually I don't even need to. I was going to put them in there and then check. Let me just clean my hands. This is the fancy look. I don't know if you can see I'm wearing Birks today because I was busy. Yeah, I'm actually going to put them in here because I've got a bit more space to do a whisk and I don't want to break my nice little measuring jug. That's all I'm doing to the eggs. I just don't want them to go in. When I made it myself, I did just throw them in full, but this way they'll just mix better. Again, you check the temperature of your saucepan. Can you do that? Mine is definitely cool enough. I'm just going to try. Yeah, cool enough. If it's hot, I'm not being funny, you will scramble the egg. Then you put that in there. And of course you use your spatula, so you don't miss any of that egg liquid. In it goes. Evening, Edgar. Hi, how are you? I don't know if anybody here is going to say Kilkenny. Edgar is on the same stage, I think, as me. It's very exciting. I'm getting to meet all these amazing cooking people who actually have knowledge and education behind their cooking instead of me just, hi Veronique, how are you? You're answering yes to something, I'm not sure what. Okay, this sounds disgusting because it kind of gets, you know, gloopy. But here we are. More upper body strength. Somebody asked a question about the eggs. What are you asking about the eggs? Should you always beat eggs? No. To be honest, who asked that? Helly. To be honest, I never beat the eggs before I put them in. I just throw them in. And actually I'm doing a bit of recipe testing for Savour and I threw the eggs in and oh my god, I had an upper body workout trying to mix them. So maybe I should mix them first, but no, I never bother. Hi from California. Wow, we have people from all over the world here and I have to tell you guys, you know, people were saying, why do you do what you do? Because I love the connection and that is what Instagram is all about. It's about the connection and it's about kindness and care for each other online. Now look at the mix. See that? So I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can. Just leave the light on it. Look, it's a really nice mix. Great ratio of fruit to flour. The other cake that we're making, the soak ahead one, has a slightly smaller ratio of fruit to flour, but you can up that ratio if you prefer. And the other cake, when you make the soak ahead, it tends to have a different texture to it. So this one here is quite a moist cake. It's not that the other one isn't a moist cake, it's just a more traditional Christmas cake. So you see how you use your spatula? You're just using it to help this off the wooden spoon. And I have this paper up a little bit high because if this needs extra time in the oven, I always put a little piece of cardboard on top. And if you don't have the extra parchment, the cardboard can hit the top of your cake and you miss the top bit, which is beautiful. Okay, here we go. Nearly there. Again, not looking to miss any of this at all.
Somebody missed the beginning. Will the recipe be on here?
This video, I'll share this video, the entire thing, straight after. And if you go into my stories, if you know how to do that, there will be a link for a downloadable, printable recipe version of this on the Gem page. So why do I tell you to follow the Gem page? Not because it brings me anything. It's because people here are always asking me, do you have printable versions of your recipes? Because I don't know how to see the caption without the video behind it, and it's too hard and all of that. Gem all of their recipes on their website. So you go into their Facebook page or their Instagram page and you'll see the recipes, and then there's a little link at the top to get you into the website, and from there you can go into their page. So anything that I've ever done live for Gem is in there as a printable downloadable recipe. Okay, I did scrape the saucepan. Now I'm just going to push this down. So you use the spatula to push this down into the corners. And the trick with any cake like this is you want to put a little kind of a dip in the middle of it, because the dip in the middle means that when the cake rises, the middle of it doesn't rise to a big dome. I don't like having a big dome on my Christmas cake. Okay.
Somebody from Australia at 4:30 watching you live.
Oh my gosh, hi. Who is that?
Yes,
South Australia, David. Hi, David. It's cool enough to bake with me. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, my sister in Australia, I'm not sure where she is. She could be out of internet access. She travels through the most incredible parts of Australia. So hi, Roshan. Don't think you're here tonight. And Naomi isn't here tonight because she's at a careers talk in Kilkenny. So she normally follows me and makes the cake with me. Okay, cake done. Now the last step. And this one here, be careful because you do not want to break your tiles on the floor. So I'm going to do this on the counter and it's going to be loud. Are you ready? Here we go. Oh, Ellie, 8130, hope to see you in Kilkenny. Make sure you come up and say hello to me afterwards. And I hope what I'm cooking is okay for you because I'm dithering about that. Okay, so watch what you do. Very loud. My poor husband almost had a heart attack. I won't break the counter because it's granite, but you want to drop this a few times because what it does is it settles the cake, and then it means you've no air pockets. Are you ready? Sorry about the noise. Better make it a bit quieter. Very loud. Okay, that's it, and that's the cake done. So that is going to go into the oven at 130 for 2 hours. I'm not going to look at it, I'm not going to touch it. If you have an oven that runs to hot, put it down to 120 and maybe check it after an hour and 45 minutes. This isn't going to sink if you open the oven door. I tend to kind of keep an eye on it, but it cooks in 2 hours flat, okay? So I'm going to put that into the oven, and then I'm just going to see if there are any questions, and then we'll be done. And I will come back to you now. So mine is going in at 7:38, 7:40. So I'm going to check that at 9:40, and I will come back on live and show it to you then just briefly. And if anybody else has made the cake, will you DM me afterwards so that I know, and we can chat and see how you're getting on. You can send me a picture of it. Here we go. And that's it, okay? So I don't think there are any more questions. The next live is sometime in the week, I think, of the 12th of November. You're very welcome, Gabby. So I think the next live is that week of the 12th of November. Perhaps maybe the week after or the week before, I'm not sure. But this soak ahead cake is definitely on the 5th of December. And it's on bottom or middle of the oven. I put it into the middle of the oven. I put it in wherever it fits, to be honest, because sometimes I make 3 or 4. Kathy, I don't lower the shelf in the oven, so mine is literally... oh, hi, Mary Rose, how are you? Thanks. I put it into just wherever the shelf happens to be. And sometimes I have them on, 2 of them on a middle shelf, and then I have 2 of them on the actual ground of my oven. But I have a fan oven, so I think that helps. So this one here, 5th of December for this live. And hi, Geraldine. And then sometime in November, I'm going to make my mincemeat. Now, the mincemeat is on there from last year, and lots of people have found it and are making it already. But what I'll do that night is we'll make the mincemeat, and then I will show you, because I already have some still from last year. Hi, Ray Chef from the States. I will show you what it looks like. You might see it this weekend, Sinead. Thanks, Mary. But I'll show you what we do with the mincemeat. So we'll do a few things with it. One of the things that people loved was I made a tray bake with the mincemeat and it's so tasty. So that is us for now. I will pop on literally just for 10 minutes or 5 minutes when the cake comes out of the oven so you can see it and you know that I didn't lie. So that one there is my soak ahead, that's working away. And remember, the one we made tonight looks like this. So do you see? I'll just put the light on that so you can see what it looks like. It's a really, really lovely cake. I don't soak it in alcohol, I don't put any more alcohol into it. I literally just, thanks Sinead, I literally just put it into a double layer of parchment, like this, 2 of those layers, cover it in tin foil, and then I put it away in the cupboard until we're ready to eat it. I might even have a slice of this now because it smells wonderful. So, thank you so much. So what time will you be back? Well, I'll be back at 20 to 10 because my cake is in for 2 hours. Hi Mary McHugh, another Monaghan woman. I'm actually a Kildare woman, but I have 3 daughters who are Monaghan women and a husband who's a Monaghan man. I'll always be a blow-in. They never let you become a Monaghan person, but I'm feeling a little bit of the Monaghan love at the moment. So, see you at 20 to 10. I'll show you the cake and how it's looking. It may need an extra few minutes, but hopefully it won't. And I will post in my stories, I will post a link to this live video, and with it I will post a link to the actual cake recipe. So there will be one link for that one, and then I'll share a picture of my tub of fruit, and I will share a link to what I put into that tub of fruit to get you ready for time ahead. 3 daughters, Mary, we're the luckiest in the world. And up the lily whites, you're right, Annie, isn't it? Okay, listen, take care folks. Better go here and get some dinner and a cup of tea. And thank you so much for joining me and Jen. And I will see you in November for the next live bake. Keep an eye here because I'll be doing some Halloween type pumpkin recipes now in the couple of weeks ahead. Some pumpkin soups and some pumpkin bakes. And of course, Christmas. We will do my pudding, but I will do that myself, not with Jen. We don't have space in the calendar with Jen to do that. But thank you so much. Really appreciate everybody showing up and signing on and taking the time to be here with me. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.